hopefully over a little bit we'll be bringing in a couple more people. I'll be up here next Saturday as well at 6:30, same venue. So if you like what you hear tonight, make sure to come back next week and we'll do it again. All right, let's see. So basically, I've been touring around and doing spoken word professionally for about 5 years. I was on the 2009 San Diego National Slam team. I've also done a lot of other different performances and stuff for nationally recognized, the National Poetry Slam and stuff. So that's mainly where I like to put all my focus. And but recently I've been veering a little further away from competition and going into more featured sets. I have a lot more leeway creatively like that. I don't have to abide by rules and stipulations and stuff, so I really like doing it like this a lot more. And since that introduction's out of the way, I'll go ahead and start with my first piece, and this is called Monster. So I made a monster once. It actually didn't take me as long as you might think, and what most people don't realize is it's really not all that hard a thing to do. You don't need any lightning. For grainy 8mm film, you don't even need to be a doctor, complete with maniacal laugh, catchphrase, or funny last name people get confused for years after as the title of your creation. All you need is fear, doubts, and a past filled with memories you wish didn't shape all your present decisions. So I made him in the basement of my insecurities. Out of things I had just lying around, I found a face I stole from a father who was never there, eyes that cry a bit too much, a nose like for someone else to the point of breaking because I couldn't do it properly, lips like the eye wall of a hurricane. I filled with words that will always mean more to me than anyone else, a chest pockmarked with scars from lost wars with confidence, and in it I placed a heart that falls way too easily and breaks like ceramic dropped from the top of whatever skyline you frequent. Most my monster stands a hair over 5'7", but tells everyone he's 5'8". He takes more than he gives and he hates himself for it, and even though he would never admit it, he was, is now, forever be an addict, just one bad day and short phone call away from going right back at it. So when he thinks I'm not looking, he prays so fucking hard to the monster god he tells all the other monsters he doesn't believe in. I've seen him kneeling in the darkest corners of my faith. On knees I fasten from broken promises, not meant to form right angles. He makes them anyway, till the stitches rip, so the humble drips slowly from his wounds the way it was meant to. His two hands I chiseled from rock bottom, cracked from the pressure of sincerity, suffocating between his palms. He repeats the same words over and over. Lord, please give love to those who need it most. Lord, please give love to those who need it most. Lord, please give love to those who need it most. And he hopes and counts amongst those worthy, even in his prayers. When he tries to be selfless, he can't help but be selfish, so he eats and prays, works, then prays, till the day she came into his life. Another little monster. Just like him, a barely over 5 foot tall, razor wire doll with switchblade swagger, 45 caliber eyes, and a napalm smile. He said, she dances like tide pools in the full moon. She says he shines like a magnified candle at vigil. He literally lit up the whole room. That night, the two of them ran heart first into each other with all the subtlety of a Mack truck with cut brakes. Each one could see white light refracted in the other's shadow, but everywhere they go, these little prisms bring their own monochrome mirrors with them. So where he sees LCD 1080p pastel graffiti in every stolen glance, she swears her stares leave only gray trails in his peripheral, and she says he uses every crayon in the box when he talks, without ever opening his mouth. See, he never opens his mouth, self-conscious of a jigsaw smile he can't help but sport in her presence, so he keeps chin to chest when she's near him. She misconstrues it as a sign of rejection, validating all her obsession. She maintains his edge 11. She'll never be pretty enough, never skinny enough, so blinded by this trail of fucked up, she can't see the love right in front of her. She retreats to her own private clock tower with all new additions to her issues. My monster still sits in the lab, mourning the love he swears he'll never have unless somehow stolen from someone else. I wrote this for all the other monsters out there, hiding loveless in their caves, creeping lonely in the shadows. If you can't love you, how the fuck you expect someone else to? So next time you look in your rear view mirror and see all those pitchforks and torches marching closer than they appear, realize you're the one who put them there, and you're the only one with the power to make them disappear.
Woo!
Yeah. Woo! Thank you guys so much. I like to believe we all deal with our own issues and insecurities, and sometimes they get out of hand and make it impossible for us to create meaningful connections with other people. And the more we all come closer to realizing that these are just things inside of ourselves that are not broken, that are not infixable, we can start getting down to business and loving ourselves more. And it just makes life a little bit easier for everyone involved. You'll notice through my set, I do a lot of self-discovery pieces, a lot of pieces that have to do with people who seem to lack the ability to get what they need in life through their own doing, and not really so much because of, the stack, up against them, or, a bum deal or anything like that. It's just the stuff they do to themselves. And hopefully a lot of the times when I do these performances and I write these pieces, I help others come to terms with that themselves and realize how they can fix it, themselves, without really going to professional help or anything like that. Just listening to someone else going through the same stuff they're going through, and finding ways to apply it to their lives. So this next piece is called Jersey Girl, and it's about someone that was special in my life that still very prevalent, but at one point in time I wanted much more than she was willing to give, and that spawned this piece. So I hope you like it. So I know this girl, right? And she's got these Garden State eyes and a smile like the first time we saw a San Diego sunset. You can spot the Philadelphia in her walk, and I swear her back and forth will drop you dead in the middle of South Street. She is my biggest fan. And for the life of me, I couldn't tell you why. She's smarter than me, deeper than me. She's my own personal Rudy Francisco metaphor. She loves like an AK-47 stuck on repeat in the hands of a 12-year-old rebel who wants nothing more than his mother back. Her soul, when intact, communicates with all the saints you've never heard of, and they tell her to stay strong, because every day she sacrifices the deepest parts of her faith for people that will never thank her. An RN in a part of the hospital you'd only know about if your best friends dropped you out of a rolling car to die there. She swims upstream in a river of abscessed dreams and fake names where fiends stake claim to parts of her heart she will never get back. She is so strong, truly her mother's daughter, and I see so much of me in her father, and perhaps that's how she knows we could never be. Or maybe it's because she realizes I too closely resemble the dope, sick, convulsing mess it is already her job to save, because hidden in the shadows of my yesterday are parts of me that scratch and claw like you wouldn't believe. They feed on excuses, and the truth is she's heard them all before. Her life is a broken requiem record, skipping recklessly, but somehow she uses it to manufacture this beat, looping the pulse from an EKG. She showed it to me, and that's how I found out God really knows how to beatbox. And this was just one of over the countless things she's done to make me realize I will never deserve her. Even if I stop nodding out right now, catch up to my age somehow, get a license and a car I could afford, shit, I could literally double my credit score. Even if I had a six-figure career that took us all around the world saving orphan orangutans, that I in turn teach to rescue homeless kittens, still wouldn't be enough. But none of this changes the fact that she is marble wrapped in jersey knit sheets, and every second I spend with her feels like my ears just popped, and I could not be more comfortable. So yes, she is my biggest fan, but really I am hers, and unfortunately, that is all I will ever be. All right. This next piece I'm gonna go into, again, most of my writing as of late has come to interpersonal relationships between guys and girls and kids, and just basically the hardest things in life, I believe. Trying to find that special someone that makes everything all right at the end of the day, and basically all the struggles and journeys that come along the way in trying to find that person, and all the things you've done wrong and all the hurt you've caused, and trying not to think about that when you think of what you really deserve in this life. And this next piece is labeled Dreams Inside of Girls and Vice Versa. And it's a little abstract piece, basically all about this similar person that keeps dominating a dreamscape, and although you You'd love to try and get them out of your mind. When you're asleep, you have no control over that. And what really plagues you comes to the forefront constantly, and when you can't do anything about it, but try and figure out how to make the dreams go away, you find out that it's always not that easy. So I'm gonna go ahead and start this piece, and I hope you guys enjoy it. I wish I could shove my tongue down the throat of your mind. I want to reach my words in your chest, past your heart, watch them palm your spine and pull you close. And since I do not know your name, I will call you life, and we will dance like tomorrows were just myths, whispered on the lips right now. Ask if you like how we move together. Because to me, the rhythm of our here and now is more on time than the tide. The moon wishes she could control something this beautiful. Who are you, love? And how is it you managed to circumnavigate all my defenses I thought were so finally home, for protecting me from girls like you who have invaded my dreamscape and painted it your own private playground? I respectfully request you lay down your brushes and return me my mind, because I can no longer continue writing these things, hoping to speak them into existence, yet every night you laugh at my resistance, and each morning after force my hand, drowning me in nothing but could-be's. You are a fucking waterboard fantasy, and you seem so familiar. But I cannot place your face, so last night, I stared so far into you the world lost focus, and together we became the greatest Monet they will never get the chance to see. It was then that I saw them, each one completely unique, just like all the rest. You'd be surprised how fast a face full of freckles can transport you to the past. And just like that, I was 4 foot flat in the middle of trying to pull a backflip out of a swing set. My feet rotate over my head, land perfectly underneath me. Instantly, I am 10 times cooler than I was 30 seconds previous. And just in time to see you walking towards me. You were Tonya Samay. We were back in the 5th grade, and it was the day we stayed outside 2 minutes longer than everyone else at recess. You took my hand, and together we began the slowest collision of innocence Northwoods Elementary had ever seen. We became girlfriend number 1. So you caught me 3 days later behind the gym with Ashley Long, picking up where you left off, except this time adding tongue. That was the first time I ever made a girl cry. And that was just the beginning of the night. Next to her, Stephanie Crom, and at age 14, maybe it was wrong, but neither of us wanted to wait any longer. So we gave everything we had, not knowing any better, and although I certainly never made you do it, I wasn't really ever what you wanted, and I kind of always knew it. That day, we let the awkwardness say our goodbyes for us. Then, you were Lisa, and I can't believe the piece of shit I was at 16, cause you'd have done absolutely anything for me. Girl, you had to be in love. Every day after school at my house, you'd give me some, like the only homework you ever had was simply making sure I'd come in. The only thing you ever wanted was to hold my hand at lunch, just so the school could see that we were going out and I was yours. But I was a fucked up kid just because you were a little big when you told everyone about us. I denied we ever even kissed. Your heart shattered me awake. I laid there no longer dreaming, but somehow still feeling you, carving every one of your names backwards across the insides of each one of my ribs, so every morning my heart can see exactly who it's breaking for. You are every girl I've ever heard. So as soon as I get back to sleep, go ahead, get back to work. You're a special kind of torture, and I deserve far more. Woo! Those are a lot of the ones that I've most recently written, and I never really wrote a lot about like romantic stuff and guys and girls stuff and all that. I used to basically really just write about only grimy things, a lot of overdose pieces, and just stuff that tried to make the audience as uncomfortable as possible. And while doing that, I still maintain a very rhymey, style. So I'm gonna go ahead and do a piece for you guys I haven't done in a really long time. It's gonna be one of my older pieces I competed with, called "Poetry: My Anti-Drug Dealing." And we'll see how this goes. So, I used to move 8 balls and break pounds down to QPs, bundles of boat, never dope, but shit a whole lot of E. There was a time at any time if you tried to search me on my person would be probably anything any addict would need, especially if that addict had habits like me. And all it took was GPD and a whole lot of alone time to see. The only thing I'd done with my life to that point was merely support disease. I weighed out false remedies, backed up insecurities, and labeled anyone who gave 2 shits about me the enemy. If there was one word to describe me, it was simply empty. The pain unrelenting, the shame had me spending every second of each day thinking the ways I could end it. Constant pain I had spent the last 3 years manifesting. Suicide, let's just say, was way more than tempting. I had to start venting, don't know where the pen sent me, but one thing was clear. God was waiting for me there. She said she wanted me here, because my writing just might save a life she was near. So now all I sling is raw hopes and dreams, and my shit's always far from first timers to fiends. You can turn off these lights and you still probably see every word that I speak flicker fish scale like gleam. Now this stage is my block, your ears my trip beams, I spit ether saliva. This mic cuts so clean, I had 7 cooked it back, now the bag was 14, it's still diesel enough to cause goosebumps on key. Hell, when I'm alone, my metronome stop ticking just to listen to me. And each line's been so defined, each rhyme in sync with beating time as your emotions control. Allow this flow to free your mind, and it ain't blow, but it's been known to jack you up and keep you high, but you will lose your teeth, and you don't need no vising for your eyes. No pipes, no blunts, no keys for bumps, spoons, candles, and needles either. The only paraphernalia you're gonna need is the ears God gave you, and it won't get you sick, and it won't keep you up, and you can't get cotton fever, please believe, because that shit sucks. You won't tweak and you won't itch black out or wake up in a ditch. Matter of fact, though, there is this rare side effect, and it's the only one I know. It happened to this b-boy down from Detroit at my show. The b-boy was Bruce Leroy, and my flow gave him the glow, so cost. Cost is the only thing I did forget to mention. My shit ain't free, but it's pretty cheap. All you gotta pay is attention. Yeah. Alright, so that was definitely an older style. I imagine you can see quite the difference between that style of writing and what I've been doing more recently. But before I started actually competing on like a national scale or whatever, that was really how a lot of my stuff sounded. And even though I was winning competitions on a local level, which put me in the position to go to nationals, when I got on the San Diego national team, I was told by the coach that I couldn't rhyme anymore. I wasn't allowed to rhyme. I wasn't allowed to have any poems that were really rhymey. And if I was, they weren't going to use any of them at nationals. So basically, the first piece I wrote when I got onto the San Diego national team was the first in a long line of stuff I had to write with a 3-month time limit before that and when nationals was. And I was basically told to completely change my entire style, everything I write about, and make all brand new pieces that don't sound anything like what I was doing completely up until that point. So I don't know if you can imagine how incredibly difficult that is when someone tells you, oh yeah, your stuff's really good, but we need it to be completely different. And you got 3 months to make at least 5 that don't sound anything like anything you've done up to this point. So I didn't know what to do with that, other than the very first poem I write to be called Not One Rhyme. And since I was told that I wasn't allowed to rhyme once, I made this entire piece all about my confusion as to why that had to be. So I hope you like it. So I was told I couldn't rhyme in this piece. And I was like, can't rhyme? What kind of fuckery is this? What do you mean I can't rhyme? See, telling me I can't rhyme is like telling me not to cuss. Like telling me I can't wear my pants 6 inches below my ass. You might as well tell the LAPD not to use excessive force. And you know what? While you're at it, go ahead and tell T-Pain to stop letting a computer sing for his ass. See, I am not smart enough to pluck erector peely muscles like the strings of a Fender Strat to leech goose funk, stands at detention like a graduating Annapolis class without some form of lyrical trickery. I am not good enough to fool you into thinking I am a real poet without an ABBA prosthetic, simply put. I am no Cat, Aunt Black, Deacon Blair, or Rudy Francisco. See, they are still like giants to me, and the kink in my neck from constantly looking up to them will probably never heal. Because secretly, I am a child, trapped in a half-assed beard and mustache mask adult costume, and I am literally 10 seconds away from pissing myself waiting to be found out. So for every conversation about a conflict in a country I can't even spell, I cross my legs a little bit more. And for every Gil Scott-Heron reference I don't get, I shrink a little further inside myself than later. Thank God for Wikipedia. So as you can imagine, this is a big fucking problem. Because after all, what does a child know about poetry other than, of course, it's supposed to rhyme? So when Chris said Dro, I want you to write a piece without one rhyme, those weren't the words I heard. What I heard him say was Josh, take off that stupid fucking mask we all know you've been wearing and man up. See, you're in our family now. You wouldn't be here if you weren't good, but at this next level, good won't get you into an honorable fucking mention. Dude, you need to be a professional spoken word athlete. No, fuck that. You need to get all mad with this shit. If there's one person in the crowd not feeling you, your words better have the ability to bend their soul over their own chair and start their heart till the person next to them screams, God damn. Now that's what I call left ventricle orgasm. But unfortunately, I'm not there yet. I don't have the spoken word clearance level for optimum performance consensual soul rate. Yet. Somehow I lucked out and got lumped in with some of the most talented spititians on this planet, and ever since the night that happened, there hasn't